Hi friends. To not miss any videos on our channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. That's Pasapadu village. In that village, a priest named Shankareshki lived with his son Krishna and daughter Gauri. To support the family, he farmed his land and continued the priestly duties passed down through generations, sustaining the family with what he earned. The priest's son Krishna used to help his father. One day, while Krishna was working in the field, his sister Gauri brought him lunch. Hey brother, I brought your favorite dal and fried vadiyalu. But today there's something special. You never cook, but you did today. It's nothing, brother. Dad went to the neighbors for work. So I brought you lunch. Oh, that's the story. Now, if I eat this meal, I wonder what will happen to me. But nothing will happen to you because you didn't cook it. Not you. Who else could it be? Who else is there? My friend Chamanti. I don't know how to cook, so I called her to help. Then there's no danger to my health. Yes. There's no danger to your health. If anything happens to you, it's not my concern. Did you come alone? Didn't she come with you? She said she would come, but I told her not to. Why? She was already very tired. I told her not to come in the sun as it would affect her health. Okay, wait a bit. Let's eat together. After eating, Krishna asked when. Dad said he would come. He said it would be late. Why are you asking about him? Nothing. If Dad is late, I have to go to the temple and perform the puja. Yes, I forgot. Asking Dad? Okay, it might be late by the time he comes. You go to the temple, complete the puja, and come home. All right, you start going. Gauri agreed and left for home. After finishing work, Krishna quickly went home. Gauri, I'm going to the temple. If Dad comes, tell him. Okay, brother. Go quickly and come back. Soon. I'm very hungry. Prepare the meal. I'll eat after the puja. Okay, brother. I'll have your meal ready by the time you return. Gauri waited a long time for her brother. But her brother didn't come home. Gauri was very worried. Just then, Chamanti arrived. Gauri, why are you so worried? Brother went to the temple for puja. It's already very late. Brother hasn't come yet. Why are you worried, little one? Come, let's go to the river together. So, they both set off for the river. By the banyan tree near the river, they saw her brother. Seeing that, Gauri said, Brother, where are you sitting? You said you were going to the temple for puja. Krishna just looked without saying anything. Krishna, if you've been here all this time, your sister was worried about you. Suddenly, Krishna jumped down from the tree and said, Chamanti, let's get married. Brother, what are you saying? Or will you marry me? He said sarcastically. What are you saying, brother? Krishna angrily approaches his sister. Why are you interfering? This is a problem between me and Chamanti. You tell me, Chamanti, will you marry me? What are you saying, Krishna? How can you marry yourself? Why do you say that, Chamanti? I love you. You love me, right? You're acting very differently today. What's wrong with you? I don't understand anything. I will marry you. Chamanti, I will marry you. I can't live without you. Seeing Krishna's behavior, Chamanti and Gauri were very worried. They don't understand what to do. Gauri realized that some evil force possessed her brother, causing him to act this way. Gauri took some soil from the ground, remembered the goddess, and recited the Gayatri mantra. Then she threw the soil on her brother. As soon as the enchanted soil touched Krishna, a strange, grotesque form emerged from his body. It was Munja. After that, Krishna fainted. The Munja jumped onto a nearby banyan tree. Seeing that, Gauri and Chamanti were terrified. They took their unconscious brother home with Chamanti's help. What is this? It's so terrifying. They don't understand what that strange creature is. I've never seen such a creature before. What's wrong with your brother? Since when has he been like this? Something must have happened on the way to the river. We don't understand what happened. I am very scared. Stay with me here tonight. All right, I'll stay with you. And they both slept there. At midnight, Gauri heard a noise and woke up. She saw the grotesque form they had seen in the morning. Chamanti, let's get married. Chamanti, let's get married. Seeing that, Gauri asked, Who are you? What are you doing here? I want to marry Chamanti. I want Chamanti. Hearing those words, Chamanti screamed loudly. Hearing their screams, Munja suddenly reached the roof and asked Chamanti why she was scared of him. We are lovers. No one can separate us. You're a demon. Who will marry you? Leave from here. Hearing that, Munja asked why she was coming between them. First, I should kill you. And as he was about to attack Gauri, some divine force pushed Munja back. You have some powerful force. I can't do anything to you. I have a strong desire to kill you, but some force is stopping me. Before he could finish speaking, Gauri's father entered and saw his frightened daughter, Chamanti, asking what happened and why she was scared. Father, look at that grotesque form. The priest said it's Munja. Hearing that, Gauri asked, What is Munja, father? Do you recognize me, priest? Then explain to your daughter about me. And I want to marry Chamanti. Set a good date for us. What happened? How did he come to our house? However, he came, priest. We need to get the work done. Give me Chamanti in marriage, priest, or I won't let your son live. Hearing that, the priest, in fear, said, Don't harm my son. I will do as you wish. I'll set a date for your wedding and call you. You should leave from here. The children are scared of you. Upon hearing that, Munja said, All right, I'll leave for now. I'll come back, definitely. If you break your promise, give up hope on your son. Munja left. What happened? How did he come here? Today? Brother went to the temple for a ritual. When brother didn't return for a long time, we both went searching and reached the river. There, we saw brother hanging from a banyan tree. Suddenly, Munja emerged from brother and attacked us. Gauri explained everything to her father. He's very dangerous. We must get rid of him quickly. Otherwise, he will take our lives. How does he know me? Why does he want to marry me? Have you ever heard of a man named Chetak? Upon hearing that, Gauri and Chamanti were suddenly frightened. All right, I'll go and bring Pedarasi's grandmother. Only she can contain this Munja. We've heard about that Chetak, but we've never seen that Munja. This is the first time we've seen it. We are very scared. We'll come with you. Don't worry, it won't harm you. I'll go and bring Pedarasi's grandmother. We'll come with you, father. We are scared to stay here. Okay. Take that bamboo stick over there. As long as you have it, Munja won't come near you. Why is Munja so afraid of the bamboo stick? Munja is very afraid of the bamboo stick. Please explain what exactly happened. Our grandmother told us about this. We thought it was just a story. But after seeing this Munja, we realized it's true. Years ago, in a village called Ashadabhuti, lived a couple named Shivaya and Chandrama. They had a son named Prasad. Being their only son, they raised him with great affection. One day, the teacher told me, Har Prasad, you're not studying well. That's not true. Father, I'm studying well. But they said you're following some girl. Who is that girl? She's the daughter of our village head, studying with me. Why do you need to follow girls to school? I don't know, father. She's the only one who stands out in our school. Don't talk such nonsense. If I find out you followed that girl again, I'll skin you. Scared of his father's words, Prasad said okay and left the house upset. If you shout like that, the boy will get hurt. You could have said it gently. It's because of your pampering that he's become like this. Look, now he's left upset. It will take us a long time to find him again. Where will he go? When he's hungry, he'll return home. That night, Prasad didn't return home. He sat near the banyan tree at the edge of the village. At midnight, strange screams and noises were heard. Prasad walked towards them. There, he saw a sorcerer chanting spells and sacrificing a creature. Immediately, a man walked there on his own. Prasad watched all this from a distance. After a while, as the magician finished his ritual and was leaving, Prasad approached him and asked, "What did you do?" That man walked over on his own. "You're just a kid. You don't need all this. Go mind your own business. I also want to learn this art." "What will you do after learning this art?" "If you don't teach me this art, I'll tell everyone in the village about your ritual." "All right, don't tell anyone about this. I will teach you the art of enchantment." Thus, Prasad formed a bond with the magician. In just a few days, Prasad learned the entire art. He started experimenting with the art he learned from the magician on small animals. After rigorous practice, he quickly learned to control living beings. Seeing Prasad's enthusiasm, the magician used his powers to summon some divine books and taught him the complete art of enchantment. Thus, he learned all the arts from the magician. "Now, I will enchant my beloved. No one can separate me from my beloved anymore. Tomorrow is a new moon, so I must perform the ritual and enchant her. But this place doesn't seem safe. I should go to another place for the ritual." "About what?" "You're thinking so intensely. The atmosphere here isn't suitable for the ritual. So, I plan to perform the ritual in a deserted place." "Why are you thinking so much about it?" "To the north of this village is an island called Chetakwadi. You can perform your desired task on that island." "All right, Baba, as you said, I will go to Chetakwadi and perform the ritual there. Remember one thing. At the ritual site, only the blood of those you sacrifice should spill, no one else's. What if your blood spills instead? You will become a ghost." All right, Baba, I will be careful. That evening, as planned, he sat under a banyan tree in Chetakwadi and enchanted the object belonging to the daughter of the village head he loved. Through that art, he summoned her. He made her sit in the ritual and continued the ritual. Suddenly, Ramaya, who worked for them, came and asked, "Madam, why are you here? Let's leave from here. Come on." Hearing others' words, Prasad asked, "Why did you come here?" "You leave. She belongs only to me." "Who are you to bring our girl here? Will you leave, or do you want to be buried here?" The wrestler pushed Prasad, who was standing there, back. But Prasad fell on the knife brought for the sacrifice. The wrestler was about to leave with the village head's daughter when he said, "I won't let you go alive. First, you need to stay alive. In a while, you'll die on your own." "Why will I die?" "You don't know. You already stabbed yourself with the knife you brought and you're bleeding." Prasad realized that it was his blood that fell into the ritual fire. As he watched, a spirit emerged from the fire and entered Prasad. "I won't spare anyone who kept the girl I loved away from me. I will take revenge on you." Yet the wrestler, ignoring him, took the girl home. The next morning, the village head came with the villagers and saw Prasad's lifeless body and had his parents perform the last rites there. This is all I know. After that, no one went towards Chetakwadi. But the wrestler who kept his beloved away was found dead near the same banyan tree a few days later by the villagers. Then the village head brought a sorcerer to bind the tree with a spell, stopping anyone from going there. That's all my grandmother told me. "All right, I'll go and bring Pedarasi's grandmother. You stay here and keep an eye on them." Saying this, the priest left. After the priest left, they sat guarding Krishna. Without realizing, they slowly fell asleep. After a while, Munja sat on Krishna's bed, shouting, "I want to get married." Hearing those words, Chamanti and Gauri woke up and looked. "Stay away from my brother. If you give me what I want, I'll leave." "What do you want?" "I want to get married." "Will you marry me or not?" "I want Chamanti." And as he moved towards her, Gauri took a stick and hit Munja. Suddenly Munja was startled. "What are you doing? How dare you hit me? How dare you come here and scare me?" "Oh, really? Watch what I do now." And he jumped into Krishna's body. Suddenly, Krishna sat up. Munja in Krishna's body said, "Now, I'll show you. The blow you give will hurt your brother." Hearing that, Gauri was confused. "Leave my brother and go, or you'll be in trouble." "No one can do anything to me. First protect yourselves from me." As he was about to attack, Pedarasi's grandmother arrived and poured sacred water. Munja couldn't do anything. Seeing Pedarasi's grandmother, Munja asked, "Who are you? Why are you interfering?" "You'll find out who I am later. But first, leave here, or I'll make you disappear." "Not just you. No one can do anything to me. Because I am immortal." "You might be immortal, but you must adhere to your bindings. I'll bind you now. With her power, she created a design and placed an effigy. Then she chanted spells and moved Muncha into the effigy. Bound by the spell, Muncha went into the effigy. Now you won't have any trouble. So, what should we do with this effigy? I'll nail it to a tree in the forest. Saying this, Pedarasi's grandmother took the effigy and left. That's today's story. We'll meet again with another story. Hi friends, we've launched a new channel called Horror Heaven Telugu. Please watch the video and subscribe to support us. Thank you.